Hello everyone, my name is Reed. Gonna do this video response for ENB. So I have a list here starting at the top. One thing I thought would be cool to add is NPC Co-op, but in reverse. So instead of an NPC helping you, you help an NPC make their way through a level. Sort of for people who maybe don't want to just rush into a level, like, oh, I don't want to just get killed randomly. I mean, I know that's not really prevalent too much, but for something like Sin's Fortress, with the swinging pendulums, it's pretty much, if your first time through there, if you get knocked down, it's pretty much you're dead. I mean, okay, just, something to throw out there. Second one is a charge attack. Not like a charge like running, or maybe running, but something more like, think with a longsword. The R2 is the thrust, so you'd hold R2 and you'd pull back your thrust, hold it for a few seconds, and then release it. Sort of timing your attacks better. I don't know. It may break the feel of the game a little bit, but my thoughts on this would, it would do a little bit more damage. And maybe if it had, like, you had a special type weapon, it'd do a cool little effect or something. Like a big slash, make a little air wave that shoots out. Sort of like the Glomax, but not nearly as far, like maybe just a foot or so. Just something kind of cool like that. Add a little bit more to the meta. Next thing is character tendency. I think I really like this in this idea in Demon Souls, not so much its execution, but I think it would work very well with Dark Souls. I mean, you kill an NPC, your character tendency lowers, and it might make the game harder. It might, do things that World Tendency used to do, or did, in Demon Souls. It might do things that World Tendency would do, like spawn more people, something like that. And, I mean, there would be something for killing all the NPCs, something like that. Just an idea to throw out there. It's obviously not perfect, but, excuse me, I think it would sort of add that next level, like, oh, I want my character to be good, so I'm not going to kill anyone. Big ass truck just went by. Anyways, so it would add to that sort of, it would add to like a roleplay aspect, like, oh, I want my character to be good, so I would not kill anyone and help them whenever I can, thus increasing my character tendency, and either making the game easier or spawning things that would help me in some way. Just a thought. Next one, throwing weapons. This, I have one specific example for this. The Dragon Slayer arrows. When they're shot, they're like spears. So my thinking was, why can't I just throw the spear? Why do I have to use the bow? I mean, obviously it's part of the lore and stuff, but what's really stopping me? Why can't I just use this as a javelin type? Now, personally, I really like javelins and such other weapons like that, but I think this would just be sort of a, I don't know, I think it would be very neat. Very neat. And then you'd either upgrade, I don't know about how upgrades would work, but it would just add that sort of thing, sort of next level, rather than just having throwing knives, dung pies, excuse me, non-damaging really weapons, or throwing weapons. Another thought. Another thing I thought would be neat is a shield bash type attack. Now, I thought about this a little bit more, and it seemed cool when I first thought of it, but now that I really think about it, we have the kick, but I guess this would be more of an aesthetic thing, and just a way to attack with your shield while it's in your shield hand. Sort of maybe do damage with, I don't know. I don't really know the specifics of how it would work exactly, but, excuse me, I think it would be very cool, personally. Next idea is ability to, like, switch to, like, so your main weapon's in your left hand. Just something simple like that, like a toggle in the options. Like, oh, I want to be left-handed, or I want to be right-handed. And doesn't really, something more for you, but also still keeping that sort of, oh, well, this attack hits, like, right across from the right, so top right to bottom left. If I switch this, I can hit this guy over here much easier. I don't know, it might sort of change the feel of the game if you can just swap it willy-nilly, but I think it's something that I've kind of think should just be in the game, like for people who are left-handed. And another thing though, I was thinking about this a little more, is it could sort of make maybe like non-lock-on type targeting and attacking a little bit easier, since you don't have to use two hands to do it. You just could do one while still sort of being ready with the other hand. I don't know. So next one, a pure magic upgrade. So this is one thing that I thought about a little bit, is when I want a magic weapon, I want it to do magic damage pretty much only. I mean, it's not bad that it does physical damage, but it's just, I don't know, it seems like it would be a little bit cooler if it did just straight magic damage, sort of like the Moonlight Butterfly Horn, excuse me, or the Moonlight Greatsword. Just another thought. Next one, a ring status effect toggle. Something really simple, just to turn off this like sort of aura effect of the grass crest or whatever, that sort of effect. Now, it would just be something for you, obviously. Maybe other people would see it, maybe not. I don't know. Next one is more open areas. Now, it's not really a problem that I have with Dark Souls. It's just sort of a, I don't know what the word is. It's just it irks me a little bit that so much of the level is like narrow pathways, very small rooms. Not that that's a bad thing, but it just sort of gets old after a little bit, and after you play it so many times over and over and over. Like, the traps aren't very precarious anymore. That's why I kind of want more open levels. Like, take the first level of Demon Souls, like, not the tutorial, but World 1-1. You start out in that big open area. There's enemies hidden behind things rather than above or around a corner. More levels sort of like that. Like open areas, but with different levels of elevation through structures built around the level. Not an organic type, I don't know. I don't know what the word is. Never mind. Next one, some two-handle new weapons. This isn't a big deal for me, but something like the Dragon King Great Axe, I think. I don't remember the exact name, but, you know, R2 has the big AoE effect. I think that should be a two-handed weapon, personally. Like, two-handed only. So, and the same with the Demon's Great Axe. I mean, sure, it's like, my character's so strong you can use this with one hand. But you also have to think about the size of your character. It looks kind of goofy, honestly. I mean, not like, oh, he's like a cartoon, but more just, that shouldn't be that way. I don't know. It would, maybe, I don't know. Never mind, I'm not going to talk anymore about that. Next one I have is weapon skill. I don't really like this idea, but the basic idea would be, the more you use like a weapon type, the more you get skill with that weapon, and the more sort of damage you do, or, I don't know, maybe move. No, not moves. Yeah, I don't really like this idea, like I said. So, pretty much, you know, weapon skill. Pretty self-explanatory, I think. Next idea I have here is increased speed. Not like movement speed so much as more like game speed. Now, take Demon Souls as an example. It's very fast-paced. You have to be patient, but still be quick. It's not rushing, like, oh, I have to go, 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 go. It's not like Sonic the Hedgehog or something, but it's more, I can move faster if I want to, but I can also take my time. Demon Souls is similar to that, but the speed at which your top speed sorta is it's much slower, in my thoughts at least. Obviously other people disagree, or may disagree. I don't know. I'm no expert. I'd like to find personally a balance between the two. Um, Next idea is keep the intimidation factor. Now, some people may be confused about what I'm talking about, and for the most part, what I mean is when I first played the game, when I first got to the Taurus Demon, not so much the tutorial boss, but the Taurus Demon, it was scary. Like, not horror game, like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, scary. Well, I'm gonna die, but not. I don't. Me personally, I don't feel threatened. Whatever. You get the idea. I was sort of shaking in my boots, so to speak, but that's not really how I was. I mean, I could still act and do things, but it was scary, you know? It's like, I have to kill this, and then the next boss, the gargoyles, like, wow, oh my god. This is. When the second one flies down, it's like, crap. Shit just got real. And sort of that intimidation, but not like, I can't play, I'm so scared. I don't know. Just a thought. I know ENB suggested to keep like the or have bosses change up their sort of tactics or moves. Maybe add a new move in a new game plus, something that they might rarely use, but when they use it, it's like, oh my god, what is he doing? Or maybe a form change in a new game plus later on. Some just to keep it fresh. Uh, Next idea is just add beards to customization. Nothing big, no like huge beard, but you know, like a goatee, some mutton chops, something like that. Next idea is mix open world with levels. So my thinking on this is how this would work in Dark Souls at least would be up to you get place the Lord Vessel. It's all open world like it is now. You know, you can move around, whatever, whatever. And then after that, you'd have sort of, I guess, archstones, to use Demon Souls as a reference, for the four lords areas. So you'd warp to one area and it'll be a big level, like in Demon Souls. And then you'd finish that level, go through it, new cool stuff would happen. And then you'd sort of just you'd finish the level, come back, go to another one. I mean, but maybe not just have them all in once, like in a big circle, so you can just boom, 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 boom. But maybe have them like sort of, for Seath, you'd go through like the first part of the crystal caves, and then there would be like an archstone that you'd warp to the rest of the crystal caves. Maybe it wouldn't be huge, but just another level that you'd have to complete. Or with Nito, you'd kill Pinwheel, and then an archstone would appear, and you'd warp to like the big Tomb of the Giants, and you'd explore it, and it'd be dark. Just sort of more atmospheric, but still keeping the feel of I can go anywhere. Just a thought. I don't know. Next one is an item renamer. Pretty self-explanatory. Like, I don't want to see Lightning Balder Sword plus 5 all the time. Maybe I just want to see Lightning Balder Sword. Or Lightning Sword. Something like that. Just something easy like that. Just for you. Doesn't really have an effect on other people. My next thought is a temporary warping item. Now, my inspiration for this idea is Dragon's Dogma. In that game, you can buy a fairy stone for a very high price, and it will warp you back to the main city. Just wherever you are, warp you back to the main city. But later on, I don't remember what it's called, but you get this thing that you can place down. I think it's an anchor stone, something like that, and you can then warp to wherever that stone is placed. So something like that double pair of items, just to maybe make traveling once you've beaten the game a lot, if you're playing through it for like the 10th time, just to make traveling faster and easier. I mean, my example for this would be running out of the Blighttown Swamp from the Daughter of Chaos. I'm not gonna die, let's be completely honest. There's no real danger. Maybe one of the giants will hit me. Maybe I'll get poisoned or something, but it's not like I'm constantly fighting for my life to get out of there. So why not just make a thing, place it at wherever I want to go. before I leave. Put a blight down, and then just warp back up. This could, break the flow and the feel of the game, but my suggestion for this would be have the main warping item, so like a homeward bone, pretty easy. That would take you to the main central area, if there's a main central area that is, and then layer like a little bit into it, like after maybe you kill the gargoyles or something, you find you can find the well, I'll just use the anchor stone type thing, and then you can warp to there too. Alright, next one, more utility spells. Just, cool D&D type spells, like, Chameleon's a good one. I think they should keep that personally, but vary the amount of things that you transform into. Instead of just, for this area you turn to this, for this area you turn to this. Have it more be like, for this area you can turn into one of these 5 things randomly, or maybe you can select it or not. And more just sort of, I don't know, yeah, utility spells. Nothing that you're going to use all the time, like not an attack spell, but sort of like magic weapon, I guess. No, that's a bad comparison. You get the idea. Oh, actually, back to the utility spells. My main thinking on this would be like a magic shield. So you'd cast it, and then you'd hold it like a regular shield. It'd just be like a glowy thing in front of you that acts as a shield. And the higher level you get, or the higher level spell you get, or the higher your magic adjustment gets, the bigger or more stability it has. Something to give mages an option. So it's like, I want to be pure magic, but at the same time, I don't want to be always carrying, I don't know, something to be more of a wizard rather than a sorcerer, so to speak. Next one, bring back wands. I liked wands personally, and my thinking here is you'd keep the catalysts that you have now, and they'd do more damage, but a wand would fire faster and do a little bit less damage, like a third less damage. So 2/3 damage for a slightly faster cast, or full damage at a slower cast. Just something to think about. Next one, or the final one, is spellcrafting. So my thinking on this is there's a ton of soul arrow spells. Why not just have the base soul arrow, and then you can put sort of like, I almost want to say like attachments onto it, but you can upgrade that spell however you want. So you can put the heavy attachment on, or heavy upgrade on it, to make it do a lot more damage but fire much slower, and maybe use more casts or more mana, whatever they use in the next game. Or you can use just the greater, and it'll just do more damage. Not much is heavy, but just more. Something to keep the amount of soul arrows you have, but still, like, leave them out. So it's not like, oh my god, I have 50 things of soul arrow, why do I need all these? So it's just like, oh, I have my heavy soul arrow, but I still have all these options. Just something to think about. Those are my thoughts. I know they're not all good. Probably some are actually pretty bad, but just some thoughts that I've been thinking about for the past few days. Thanks for listening.